Do you think of Modi and you say development as the first word, or do you say 2002 riots as the first word?
Well, I rest my case. Because you just have to look at the demography of this country and then
do we move? I question is, one minute please. Do we move? Can I just go through 6 questions? I think that alone, because I
should run a poll whether everybody allows you to go through this.
Let's go through the 6 questions, because the response to Narendra Modi is a complex response. And we need to understand how the voter is responding to Modi. Yeah. It's not a unidimensional response. The 4th question is, will this election be determined by personality or issues? The BJP wants it to be personalities, but not...
I think it's very important, even understanding the dynamic of the election.
Yes.
43% say issues. So yes, anti-incumbency is important. 27% say personality, which means if you project a leadership, it gets you the swing vote, the floating vote.
Yes.
So I think this question doesn't contradict the previous one of development versus riots. Rather, it explains the first past the post system and how it works.
In fact, what is coming across to me quite evidently is that there is an interlaying of issues. While as the discourse and the dialectic and the debate very often is unidimensional, do you like Modi for Gujarat or do you not like Modi for Gujarat 2002? Do you like Modi for development or do you not like Modi for development? Do you think Modi will commonly polarize? What I find very interesting in response to question number 5 is that the same people, many of the same people who say we primarily associate Narendra Modi with development also believe that Narendra Modi's candidature will lead to communal polarization. Take a look at that question out there. Will Modi's candidature lead to communal polarization? And an astonishing 48.6% say yes. We feel / we fear that it will lead to that polarization.
The way to bridge the gap between the two issues, they're not essentially contradictory. 49% saying that they believe him to be polarizing is simply saying that 49% are cognizant of the dynamics of our polity. Yeah. They are cognizant of the voting patterns in our elections. It's a cognizant voter.
It is. And the last question, Radhika, takes the last question.
Arnab, this has to have 2 reference points. If 2002 is where Sankarshan is, there's also a 2013 Muzaffarnagar. Yeah. And that question will definitely, in the run-up to the 2014 elections, be extremely important. And the last question is, can Modi alone take BJP beyond 200 seats? Yes, he can, is about 43.4%, and no, he needs alliance partners within the NDA, say about 41%. So that's even Stevens. So it's the Modi charisma as well as alliance partners. So without one, the other doesn't work.
Now I'm going to throw this open to the panel, right? But before that, I will summarize this in plain English. If one were to go with the majority response to this sample, what would it be like? The majority view would be something like this. It is time for the Congress to declare its prime ministerial candidate, and we feel the best person to take on Narendra Modi is Rahul Gandhi. Narendra Modi has moved on from 2002. It is not the primary issue he's associated with. It might be the secondary issue. We feel, however, that despite Narendra Modi wanting this to be a personality election, it will be an issue-based election. But we also fear that Narendra Modi's entering the fray will lead to a communal polarization. But most of us feel he has the ability to take the Congress, to take the BJP beyond 200. So I would say this mixed bag, slightly confused response is actually the response of the Indian voter today to this personality of Narendra Modi. They want him as an antidote. And my question is, opening question, what I also see here, when I link this to Manmohan Singh's single-digit approval rating is this: does India look upon Narendra Modi as an antidote to the personality of Manmohan Singh, much rather than what Narendra Modi stands for alone? They're not sure what Narendra Modi stands for, but they'd rather have Narendra Modi than Manmohan Singh. Manisha takes it first.
See, certainly, if you look at that 69% response, that's the priority ranking. So they've said, let's put other issues aside. We may or may not even vote for the BJP, but if you ask us about this person, we would say we concede ground on development. The second part is that, however, whoever is going to lead the nation now will be hemmed in by the fact that no more communal rioting. So this person can divide. Therefore, we can say that the person...
response.
No, it's not a confused response. It's a clear response. It's a very prudent response. That don't polarize. We are conceding ground to you on development, but don't polarize.
People are saying that they rank decisiveness above anything else, anyone but Manmohan. Secondly, they are saying, even though we are aware that he may be polarizing, we still think his development record means we will go with him to 200 seats.
With open eyes. With open eyes. Don't polarize.
We will discern what he's doing and we'll keep him under watch. So what I understand from this is that whatever Mr. Narendra Modi does between tonight and May 15, 2014 will be very closely watched, and the results today are more anti-Congress whip than a pro-BJP whip. Can I get responses to the Modi snap poll? Who do I start with first? Let's start with Hartosh, then I take it around, one by one.
Clearly, Arnab, he's a deeply divisive figure.
Yep.
We haven't had a figure like this in Indian politics ever, I think. And if people are still backing him, a great part of the blame, clearly from these figures, it seems that they are reluctant to back him. There are great question marks about Modi, but they are backing him because of what they've seen the Congress do over the last 8 to 10 years.
Okay, should we open up to the politicians on the panel? Okay, let's take some from our expert views and then I'll come to the politicians.
People are talking jobs in 2013 and 2014 and that's when Modi or the alternative will have to deliver.
Vinod Mehta.
Now, it's quite clear that brand Modi is a complex brand. It's the sum of many parts. There is not one Mr. Narendra Modi, there are various Mr. Narendra Modis, which is reflected in your 5 or 6 questions. Now, if the BJP has selected Mr. Narendra Modi because of his strong personality, how do you explain the fact that the issues are more important than personality? And can I also say that on issues, we don't know what Mr. Modi stands for. The Congress, whether you may dislike them, but they have a basket.
The only person whose views are known to the world.
Please listen. They have a basket full of things to go to the electorate with, whether they work or not. But I ask one question. What does Mr. Development is a very amorphous word.
Okay, well, quick round to our 4 remaining panelists, then we are opening up to the political panel.
Just 2 quick points. If people are still backing him because the issue, the mood in the country today is not so much about an individual, but about a desire for a tough, strong leadership, number one. What you think gives about, people wanting personality, issue polarization. It means what they're looking for is a tough leadership, strong leadership. What they want is development, and they still think communal versus secular is going to be an issue. That's the way it's been categorized.
I want to throw one question.
Honor.
2 more.
If there is no question, if this were to be a presidential poll, Mr. Modi would be well ahead. Please remember, look at your figures in Delhi. Why is the Aam Aadmi Party at all getting 16-17%? If Modi himself made such a difference, the Aam Aadmi Party would have been wiped out. Because
that's a state election we're talking about.
Just 2 days.
State election.
The poll of
Delhi, it will make a big difference. Should not mix up things.
No, I just want to bridge this, seeming contradiction between development as the main issue and Modi as a divisive, communally polarizing figure. I think it's a warning to Narendra Modi that we are ready to take you, we're ready to support you, but no more statements like Kutte ka Bachcha, I am a Hindu nationalist, and so on and so forth. We don't want that kind of stuff.
I'm glad Aarti said this because, I think a lot of the support that's going to Mr. Modi is because of the very evident lapses in leadership of the UPA. That's a no-brainer. We don't need to debate that. But a lot of those people are also wishing Mr. Modi to become an inclusive secular leader. In my view, he is not going to be. He is not. Sachin Tendulkar playing snooker does not mean to say he is a great batsman. He'll play snooker. He's a great batsman. Modi does not need to foreground what he did in 2002. That image is set. People know what he is all about. The rest...
Is that what? I'm not meaning this to provoke Mr. Sankarshan Thakur or anyone else. Mr. Vinod Mehta says Davos won us. And
no, but Mr. Vinod Mehta says Modi has no issues, Congress has issues.
No, what
I'm so amused by that.
May I please, since I'm on my
Quite an amusing analogy.
We haven't heard Narendra Modi on any macroeconomic issue.
He's the only leader you've heard on every issue. You heard his development plank. You heard his plank of minimum government, maximum governance. You've seen his track record on jobs. You've seen his track record on development.
Is he for acquiring a nuclear arsenal for this country? I mean,
if for nothing else,
how will he stop the rupee from declining?
But for this sore voice and these tired legs that I stand on. But for the sore voice and the tired I put a question to our panelists tonight. I put a question to our panelists.
One very small point. Very small point. If Mr. Modi becomes this all-inclusive figure and becomes this very liberal kind of person, does he diminish his support with his core constituency?
Absolutely. My question here tonight is this. It has also emerged from the Times Now. It has also emerged from the Times Now poll, state poll projections today. Sanjay Jha, welcome to the panel. Pawan Verma, I'm very sorry. I just wanted to build up the debate and then I'm coming to you. So here's the alternative. Suppose the Congress party changes its strategy, Sanjay Jha. One strategy change could be that we realize that we are doing badly because of the central government and Dr. Manmohan Singh. So why don't you end the ambiguity on the leadership issue? You know, you may not want this to be a personality contest, Sanjay. But common sense would tell you that you do not need to, it is worse for the Congress party to go into this election with some voters thinking it could be maybe status quo after the elections if the Congress were to come back. Would this result compel you to look at the leadership issue again?
Arnab, yours is not a result, yours is an opinion poll, clarification number one. Number two, having done some degree of statistical sampling in my previous career, I can tell you that if you do a research of a survey in extreme situations, you said, and I'm glad you said so at the very beginning, that the C voter did this survey after all the hype and hoopla that the BJP and some sections of the media also get very excited about, you're bound to get results that might be skewed. I want to mention that. I'm not going to dispute your numbers. I'm not in the business of ridiculing any research. But to answer your question, fundamentally, I can tell you where the contradiction is and why Narendra Modi is a non-starter. If a man is seen as pro-development as well as communal, let me tell you, in Muzaffarnagar, after what has happened, and all the communal disturbances over the last 1 year, 30 or 80, whatever the number is, which foreign investor, which domestic investor is going to put his money in Uttar Pradesh? That's the same risk that you run when you have Narendra Modi trying to run any government. He may have got away with that in Gujarat, I can promise you. I can promise you, if you read the international press, their worry and concern is extremely genuine because they believe here is a divisive leader coming on a religious fundamentalist backing, and that completely reduces his entire selling of this development spin, which, by the way, has been exaggerated, and we have proved it wrong repeatedly on television channels. I'm coming to that. I'm coming to that.
If they had a leader, they would announce a leader.
Now, let me answer your leadership question, and then Piyush can come and answer me thereafter.
Its prince, who does not have enough adequate support amongst the people. They are scared that if they expose the prince today as their leader and he takes a drubbing in the election, which looks to be pretty much evident, not only because of your poll but from the mood of the nation. You go down to every rally that the BJP holds, particularly the ones that Mr. Modi addresses, and you see the enthusiasm,
there were 2 lakh people at Rahul Gandhi's rally, weren't there? I mean, what is the numbers?
Compared to 5 lakhs in Mr. Modi's rally. So you can keep comparing numbers, that's not a problem. And the enthusiasm, that's what you have to see. It's the enthusiasm in the crowd. As far as this panel's views are concerned, Arnab,
give me a chance to respond to Piyush.
The country has got divided, as we can see, not because of Mr. Modi, because of certain section of society which is completely scared of having a decisive, strong, development-oriented leader coming on.
Which section of society?
Which section of society?
The development-oriented leader or communalism-based leadership?
Which section of society?
The communal leader or development?
Let him complete his comment. He has a right to complete. Yes, please.
It is a left-leaning section of society which is extremely scared that if Modi comes in and brings in
We are not worried about
if Modi comes in and eliminates poverty, if Modi comes in and improves infrastructure,
Pawan Verma,
all these
Pawan Verma is
divisive
rebutting you.
vote
A
banks-
few minutes on the debate.
Arnab, all these divisive
No, no,
vote banks
Arnab,
that
I need to
are
respond.
not
Arnab, I will interrupt if I am not given an
cash.
opportunity
I don't know
to respond to
if
Piyush.